Welcome back to Geekshow Arcade. Oh, yeah. It's arcade time.
Beep boop. I like this segment of our show.
That's right. It's where
Just
we talk
the
about
intro.
Yep.
video
Just the intro.
games, video game related things. It's Geekshow Arcade. Let's introduce our panelists. Kicking it off over here, we got Twyman, aka Mike Roch.
Yep.
Mark, we follow you,
Back by popular demand,
Yep.
and you can't follow me. Just here. I'm only here.
Back by popular demand, just here, nowhere else. All right, it's
Nowhere else. So if you want more, you gotta get it here.
This is the only place. That's right. Krusty Krab team lead, Owen.
That's me making burgers. I just ate at a restaurant called Garage Grill in Draper. You ever been there?
I've heard of that place.
123rd. That
Looks
place
good.
is
Yep.
fantastic.
Is it good?
But yeah. Oh, it's
Oh, I need to
everything.
hit it up.
It's an everything place. First of all, but the burgers. Anyway, one of them was a Krusty Krab, Pat. One of them was, and it's like made with spicy tuna, like because they also have
Did
tuna.
did they call it a Krabby
Sushi.
Patty?
Krabby Patty. They call it the Krabby Patty.
Oh, that's awesome.
And it's basically a sushi burger, but they also serve sushi there, and it's actually good. But they also have ribs, burgers,
Wow.
surfing. They have fish and chips. It's an everything place, and I'll tell you, it's amazing. Anyway,
And
that's
you didn't
me.
even touch on the fact they have all the nice race cars and sports
They
cars in
do.
there.
They've got a whole litany of engines from F1 Formula Racing. Like it's really tricked out with a bunch of helmets, Legos. I mean, that place is.
Oh, this is that
The
place.
full
that's up-
cars are in there on lifts above
Yeah.
where you're eating.
it's on the hill.
Yeah, it's
on
up on-
12300 South.
Yeah.
Okay, I know what you're talking
yeah,
about now.
it's up there
Yep.
by like 9th East or
Like the
something,
whole
or
facade
10th
is
East.
blacked out.
Yeah. Yeah, you go in and it's you go in and it's a
I've
trip.
always
Anyway, Krabby Patty. So here I am, Krusty Krab team lead. Follow me on Blue Sky if you can find me.
All right. Hey, we got Lando.
Hey, it's Lando. Happy to be here, as always, at the game show. I've been playing lots more games lately, for what it's worth. I don't know if anyone cares.
Is that because
but I
you
have been
switched
playing
to?
the games.
We care.
Switch 2 has reignited my interest in video games, and all is well in the world. It feels good. It feels
Oh,
good to be back in the
that's-
gaming world a little bit. That's me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are we hosting the mostest, the toniest?
That's me. I'm the host. Check me out on Twitter at QuadT. Or, well, I guess I'm still there. I just don't ever log in. But Blue Sky is what I meant to say. Or on other Geek Show podcast episodes of stuff. Okay. I already checked. We do not have any emails in Arcade. So Jarron's off the hook on that one. He had to leave because his internet kept crapping out on him.
Yeah, internet taketh and giveth and taketh away.
It taketh
Sure
away
does.
tonight for Jarron. CenturyLink is having issues, and you
Is
can
that who's
tell.
with the CenturyLink?
Yeah, you can tell if you go listen to Helpdesk, or at least check the YouTube channel. I'll probably just upload the video, the audio from the video, because we make a whole bunch of references to his audio being crappy, and if it's not crappy on the mix down because it was saved locally, then it wouldn't make any sense. So, so I'm just gonna have to put up the crappy audio just so that what we say makes sense. Anyway, we got some some stories here to talk about. Unfortunately, the big story this last week, it's been pretty light video game news wise, but the big story was the aftermath of the Xbox layoffs, Microsoft layoffs. Microsoft announced nearly 10,000 more layoffs last week, which sucks, and it did affect a lot of video game development stuff. So it ended up closing the initiative, which they never got a video game out the door because they were formed initially to work on Perfect Dark. Perfect Dark got canceled. The initiative
It sucks.
got completely shuttered, and they'd been working on this video game for like 5 years at this point, maybe 4. But apparently it was going poorly enough that later on, and we talked about this before, they brought in why can't I remember the name of the company that worked on the Tomb Raider games. If Jarron were here, he'd remember.
Yeah.
But they did the Crystal
You
Dynamics.
said it earlier just fine.
Yeah, Crystal Dynamics. So Crystal Dynamics didn't have any layoffs because they're not a part of Microsoft. They were just helping with the development of Perfect Dark, but that's all done. So that's a big bummer because the vertical slice of gameplay they showed off last year actually looked really cool. And there was speculation whether or not that was accurate to what the game was going to look like. Apparently, though, the people that got laid off were saying, yeah, it was a vertical slice of the gameplay, but that's what it was going to be like. And it looked really cool, which sucks. Another game that got canceled was a fantasy adventure from Rare called Everwild. That one was announced over 6 years ago, and they hadn't really ever shown anything on it since then. So speculation, and I would tend to agree, is also that they weren't making any progress or really getting anything done there. Because when you have a game that's in development for 6 years and you don't have really anything to show the public, that's not a good sign. But yeah, those were kind of the big ones. And then Romero Games had some layoffs in there. Not layoffs, sorry, funding that was being provided by Microsoft for their game right now. That got cut. So the development of an all-new shooter, first-person shooter IP has been halted. Unconfirmed reports suggest that the team was laid off, but then later on, John Romero was saying, no, the team hasn't been disbanded. And there's actually some interest in other companies to pick up what has been made so far and let them keep working on it, pay for them to keep working on it. So that would be cool. John Romero, if you don't know, who has the studio, was one of the main guys behind the Doom games back in the day with id Software. Worked with John Carmack and those guys over there. He was more than anything kind of like a level designer, kind of a creative. I don't think he'd had much to do with the technical aspect of the engine, but more just like how the game flowed and things like that, how it played. Forza Motorsport, the company that developed the Forza Motorsport games, not the Horizon games, not the open world ones, but the track racing games. They laid off 50% of that company, turned 10. And basically the people that got laid off are saying there's no more Forza Motorsport at this point because there's not enough people to actually continue developing the series with what they left there. So that is what's going on there. There was a game that was being produced by ZeniMax Online Studios. It was an MMO codenamed Blackbird, and that was canceled. And there was some layoffs there. Apparently, that game was supposedly looking really good as well, and it didn't matter. They still needed to cut positions for that. Microsoft owned. Not many people realize this, but with the Activision purchase, they also got King Mobile Games, Candy Crush guys. They had to lay off 200 people, roughly 10% of their workforce. Non-specific on the games or teams that had affected. We just know the number of people that were laid off. And it was a bloodbath over there on the Microsoft gaming division.
I
Of
read
course,
somewhere they've released. Did I read in that article 6,000 employees released?
almost 10,000
Yeah. Jiminy
for
cricket.
Microsoft wide, not
Yeah.
not the gaming specifically.
Jiminy cricket. Cheesy Pete's. Judas
Indeed.
Priest. I got all of them.
Get them all in there because it deserves all of them.
The Forza one.
So that was really interesting.
Forza surprises me. I only played it a little bit, but I thought it was huge.
Yeah, well, it was. What happened with Forza is their last game that they come out, they took, I think, about 7 years in between that game and the one before it, and it was not received very well.
It was so fun, though.
Now hang on. The Horizon games
Oh, okay.
are a different studio.
Oh, okay.
It's just the track racing games, Forza Motorsports. And so they took 7 years to get this game out, and it didn't release in as good of a state as people felt it should after 7 years of development. But still, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, they gave you 5 amazing games and one that wasn't as good, and now you're gutting half the team. Like, come on now, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. The other studio, Playground Games, is who does the Forza Horizon games, the ones that are the open world driving games, and there was no mention of anything happening with that studio. So of course you get from the higher ups, Phil Spencer and whatnot, big long statements about how they were, these were really hard decisions. They had to prioritize, blah blah blah. And the fact of the matter is, though, is according to their own reporting to shareholders, Xbox has been very profitable the last couple quarters, and Microsoft as a whole in Q1 of this year posted $27 billion net revenue. Not gross.
Tax. That's after tax.
That's after all the expenditures.
After
All the
expenditures.
expenses. 27 billion net revenue.
I want some of that.
And so how do they
That feels good on the whole.
how do they yeah, exactly. How do they respond to that the following quarter? Layoffs. And it's
Not
just
making
like,
enough money, Tony. You got to make more money for the shareholders.
that's
Drive
and
profits, drive revenues. Let's
lot-
go. It sucks.
Exactly, yeah. It's awful. I think
Where did I
it's-
read? Where did I? And maybe you saw this too, Tony.
It's
Somewhere
absurd.
I read that they were not. They were saying that they weren't profitable because they weren't taking in third-party costs for games.
So that's we haven't got full confirmation on what that's about yet.
Yeah.
Probably by the time this episode's downloadable, there'll be more information on it. But
yeah,
there's speculation or rumors that the first party development costs are not factored into the profit margin for Game Pass.
so it's kind of
and-
faking it.
So
because they're not-
it's does that mean it actually isn't profitable? I don't know. As a result of all of this, there's been several devs, obviously not working for Microsoft, that have said, Game Pass is not a sustainable model.
Yeah.
We don't think that there's any way that you can continue to release all of your first party games, your brand new AAA games and everything else on day one for $20 a month or whatever.
No, because some
and
people
still
will
expect-
just pay that. Some people will just pay that $20 for 1 month to play it and then cancel. Right.
Well,
Like,
even then, you're talking about, I don't know, maybe we'll say there's 8 high profile game releases a year
Yeah.
that are all included on Game Pass, and they're getting $20, so that'd be $240 a year to get everything, including those 8 super high profile expensive games.
Yeah.
And that's not how much it would cost to buy those games by themselves if someone just went out and bought them. So they're losing money in that aspect.
They need to
I don't know.
Like take a page out of Nintendo's book and make you keep rebuying and rebuying and rebuying.
Right? Yeah.
Right.
It's pretty crazy, and a lot of the other speculation is this is all pushed by the higher ups at Microsoft that are saying we need to quit wasting our time with anything that's not AI oriented right now. AI. Push Copilot. How can we get more profitable in the AI market space? And how can we integrate AI with everything?
I'm telling you, carving out a tiny branch for gaming brings them so much goodwill. It's it's in the tech sphere
For sure.
because at least now.
Well, it's hard to call it tiny, but I get where you're saying.
But a tiny compared to their monster machine that is
Sure.
the rest of the company with their Azure and all their other elements, right? Like it's fairly small, and of course they get some bad PR from it too. But mostly Game Pass has been widely accepted. Like
From a consumer perspective,
Yeah,
it's fantastic.
yeah.
I love it.
I don't have I don't have a lot of complaints about it. Yeah, they have issues with getting sometimes the patching or whatever, but so does any launcher, right? Like so does any game that's not really specific to Microsoft. So I think the PR they gain, especially from people that tend to game, are also in the tech industry.
It's true.
I
There's a lot
have
of overlap.
I have fond feelings for Microsoft when I go to look at an Azure product. As an IT director, I go, I mean, I really do like Game Pass. I know that shouldn't influence me, but it does. Like, it still does influence you to be like, well, I mean, they're not all bad, right? They've got some good parts and maybe this and this and this, but like I think that if they shuttered or did stuff to Game Pass or Xbox, it's gonna be a loss for them. It's kind of that's kind of a lost leader, like.
Well, that's the thing is Microsoft's never made money on the Xbox. Like the hardware, they've never made money
No.
selling, right?
No.
But
there's
they
some
were-
spaces where Microsoft can afford to to lose money for their goodwill, but to make money in other places, right? Like
Yeah.
Azure and Windows OS are the cash cows.
Yeah.
Office is a cash
Office,
cow
oh
as
yeah,
well.
Office.
Yeah.
bro.
You know,
Oh,
enterprise,
how dare I
enterprise
forget
software.
Jarron.
They're giving away. They're basically giving away licenses for for Windows now when you buy the laptop from a
That's
Well, the
the
OEM,
vendor,
the manufacturer pays the
the
pays the
vendor's
fee,
pay,
but I'm sure
right?
it's at a greatly
yeah
huge
for
discount,
volume, right?
Yeah,
And because they want to get out into the market and take the market share and just have you sitting in front of a Windows computer. So.
right. Well, and to top it off, there's an executive, Xbox Game Studios publishing executive producer. His name is Matt Turnbull. Posted this on LinkedIn, and it has since been removed.
No.
It says,
A retraction.
yeah, you had to remove it because it says, I know these types of tools engender strong feelings in people. It was is in reference to AI. But I'd be remiss in not trying to offer the best advice I can under the circumstances. I've been experimenting with ways to use LLM AI tools like ChatGPT or Copilot to help reduce the emotional and cognitive load that comes with job loss.
Seeking therapy through AI.
Yeah. That's what he's like. He's like, just, yeah, this is rough, and, AI is coming for your jobs, but
We
just
gave everybody
use
we fired a free subscription to
Copilot.
Copilot, the dumbest of the three major ones.
Gemini is dumber than Copilot.
You think
for
so?
Sure.
Even with the
100%.
new VO or whatever they
Are
have.
you kidding me? It gave us two different answers to the same question last
That's
week.
true. That's true.
it also told us how to put freaking glue on pizza to keep the cheese from coming off. So.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe Gemini's not up there, but anyway.
But yeah, so yeah, that's the and that's actually everything we just talked about. It was kind of the short version of everything that happened last week with.
That was a short version. We talked about it forever.
Yeah, well, you have the attention span of a gnat, so it probably did feel like forever.
It sure did.
The whole lifetime, even.
Lifetime of talking.
Keep
All
moving,
right.
Tony.
Let's talk about some good news. In the world of Cyberpunk, one of my favorites. Guess what,
No.
Owen? Guess what?
Oh yeah, they're bringing the anime back.
That's right. Season
two.
Season 2 of Cyberpunk
that-
2077.
What's it called? Edge Runners or something?
Edge Runners. If you
Ooh.
have not watched the first season of Cyberpunk 2077 Edge Runners on Netflix, fix your life and go watch that.
Seriously.
So
what
hold on,
have
I have
you
a
been doing?
question.
It's great.
Do I needed to play the game to enjoy the
No.
show?
No,
No,
I-
not at all.
Just go watch
had
the
no,
show.
Yeah.
Yep. I had no idea that it was an anime. I was like, oh, it's a cyberpunk, and Tony said it was good, and then I watched. I'm like, this is straight up an anime, and because Netflix, I don't expect original anime from there. Are they? It's a Netflix original, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
but then they
they-
did Blue Eyed Samurai, which
They've
was
got
also
some
an
good original
amazing
stuff. You
soundtrack.
got that. You got this. You got the arcane
getting in on it.
stuff.
The arcane stuff was fantastic.
Yeah,
Phenomenal.
there's some good original stuff on. There's some good shows on Netflix for sure.
Yeah, some good anime.
I'm just saying anime, yeah.
But
Oh,
yeah,
just
this
anime.
is specifically it is done by the same studio that did the first one. So
Oh, good. So the art style's not
Yep.
like the direction. Okay.
yep, it's going to
'Cause
have
I
a lot of
really
the same
enjoyed it.
flavor as the first one, and the first one was really good. Now my recommendation does come with the caveat of it is a It is quite the adult-oriented.
It's mature.
So not for
sure.
Jarron.
Not for,
Yeah.
not for Jarron.
There's a couple. There's a couple nudity scenes in the first season. So.
Yeah. But that's the world of cyberpunk.
Yeah,
in
right.
general is.
Oh yeah, I remember the first time I played Cyberpunk. Good thing the kids were in my room.
Yeah.
Character
Dude.
select screen. I'm seeing a dong. I'm going.
Yeah.
Oh,
First time
mine
I ever
was,
saw a dong in a video game. And I'm like,
What was-
what in the world?
Everyone remembers their first time.
Yeah.
Yup.
So
Mine
yeah,
was-
You did not warn me about that, Tony.
I know.
Didn't I post in Slack that night and be like, Tony, what's happening?
Well, and there used to when the game launched, there was a bug that would would let the dong come through the pants even, and so pants on, doesn't matter. You're gonna see some dong. Oh, all right. Okay. Speaking of games that some people just don't get, Twyman, you got your first taste of Minecraft.
How do you feel? Feels good.
How did you experience your first time? Tell us about like the circumstances.
Good
By
platform.
yourself, other people.
Oh my gosh. My kids play it. I got my kids set up on a desktop machine. I was using my laptop, which is a gaming PC, so it's more
Excellent.
than capable. And I'm just kind of confused about the whole thing, but I was just like, I don't know what I expected. I know you can go in there and do creative or whatever, but I was like, no, I want to play Minecraft. So we go into I was on Bedrock. You probably want to know that.
Yep.
We go into a random generated world, survival, no cheats, no nothing,
go.
right?
Let's go.
So I'm like, what's this game about? And we start, okay, we get a little base. These creatures come attack us at night. I mine down. I find some diamonds. I build better armor. And now what?
Yep.
And so then it's like,
you've
well, I
discovered
guess I'll
Minecraft.
go explore.
Yeah, buddy. You gotta
There's
go
different
find.
ways to
you gotta
play.
go-
You can go
you gotta
explore.
go
You can go build
find-
a bigger, better house. You can get into the redstone stuff.
Dude, my favorite stuff is the redstone stuff. I've been working on the door. You know the door on X-Men, the one that's got the
Yeah.
The
that
X
opens-
vault door.
What do you call? Yes, but it opens like the blade. I've been working on that in our world, my world. Landon
Yeah.
and James don't ever come by anymore, but
I get the
But,
creative aspect. Like, I can see where people may want to go in there and build machines or whatever, but I was like, what am I supposed to do? I go to a new biome, so there's some plains I got to, and I dig again? Like, is that all this has to offer me?
okay. Here's the best part. When you get an elytra, and you get
The shulker
The-
boxes.
the shulker boxes in
There
the
is an end
elytra.
game.
Once
Yep.
you get the elytra and you can fly around with fireworks, the game is massively funner to play.
Which there's no guidelines on any of that. If you want to learn anything, you got to go to YouTube, or you just
figure it out.
discover it, I guess.
Yep.
And my son keeps being like, okay, when do you want to go to the Nether? That's the next place. And then we got to
Yep.
fight the Ender Dragon. And I'm like,
Yep.
where are you getting this? I have no guide
There's no
telling me that
context.
is
They
the
do it in
objective
school.
of this
So-
game.
So
Yeah.
So
no,
my kids,
that
my kids
Minecraft
get to
does
play.
not hold your hand.
My kids get to play Minecraft in their computer science, like at school. They
Yeah.
get to play it. They get to play it.
Minecraft
as part of
education.
their.
And he knows all the recipes and all this stuff by heart. I'm like, what in the crap? There is nothing that shows you this.
No, I spend. I saw your notes on there, and I was like, hey, I don't get it. So I was like, I played it for the first time in a long time too, and it was awesome because they just did a new update with these copper golems, and they're fantastic.
Which is just the iron golem that's copper colored.
So it's the copper. The copper golem is a
Oh,
little.
you mean golem? Okay.
Golem? Yeah, golem. Sorry, golem.
Yeah.
The copper golem is a little guy that runs around and he looks in anything you put in a copper chest now, which you can build. He'll look at it, he'll grab it, and he'll go sort it into a box. But he won't put it into that box unless there's an existing item of that
that's
type in the
sweet.
box. So like when you get back up from mining, you've got your whole pack full. And you're like, I don't want to go sort all this crap. Just throw it in the copper box, and eventually he just takes it. And as long as you put one of that kind in another box, he'll just go
He'll sort it
organize
for you. He's
sort
an
it passively.
auto-sorter.
auto sorter passively, and he just
That's
wanders
dope.
around carrying it. It's really cool. Anyway,
And
it's a
how
lot
did
of
you
fun.
find out about that?
Minecraft updates and news
Blogs.
feeds, and it's in my Google
Yeah.
feed.
The other thing too is it's like I really like tower defense type things, so I'm like, okay, so we're going into these underground caverns. There's these mobs that keep spawning. I need to build like towers that are gonna fight them for me. It's like,
Dude,
wait, I
you can do
have
that.
to build like a dispenser, then feed
No,
arrows
dude,
into it. I'm like,
go look up snowman tower defenses, where because snowmen shoot
Snowballs.
snowballs, and so there's a way you can make a snowball tower that is like a turret, basically a turret gun, and every night when the critters come out, they because the way they're lit up, and then you build the tower, it just auto shoots. You pack like 10 or 15 of these snowmen, whatever, into the tower, and it's like a turret gun. I haven't done that yet, but it's on my short list. I built a sword for our nether portal, which was fun. So it's a lot of stuff you can do, but you kind of have to choose to take it on.
You
Like,
can go to the Volcano's
Yeah.
Chicken Shack.
yeah,
Lava.
I think they added
It's a
lava
chicken.
chicken as a
Steals
sound
lava chicken
now,
every
as a
day.
record.
they did in the jukebox. My kid
Yeah.
has that in Java
Yeah.
only, though. I think.
Yeah, Java.
In Java only?
Yeah, I
Really?
guess I was just thinking there was like a story and something, but
There
Yeah,
is
man.
there's tons of lore out there. Audiobooks. My kids listen to audiobooks about Minecraft nonstop.
Are they actually put out by
No.
Mojang?
But none of
no,
them
I
are
think
official.
no.
So
I
this
don't-
is fan
no, no.
fiction.
Yeah,
Fan
yeah.
fic.
I mean, they're you ask for them on Amazon, and it plays them from he plays them from his Alexa device. So they're coming as a self-published something on
Right,
on
yeah.
Amazon, right? And but they have the same author, and he's listened to multiples of them. So
Wait,
it's
so is
like-
it licensed then, or is it not licensed?
I haven't ever looked it up. He's just like he just listens to them.
Interesting.
I understand
So-
where you're coming from, Twine. And the first time I played Minecraft, that's how it was for me too. It's like, what in the crap is this game? This sucks. Nothing's like, what do you even do? It took me 2 or 3 different times starting on the thing.
well,
that
I'm
finally
like
made it
20
click.
hours in.
Wow.
I'm
Do an
surprised you're
iron
having a
farm.
bad time if you're playing with your kids. Like
Yeah,
usually,
do
if
it.
you have a Sherpa to help
Oh,
you,
yeah.
it goes better.
It's fine.
it.
That's the part that keeps me playing because my kids play it, so we just all play together. And
Oh.
but I
Yeah,
just
that makes sense.
I'd go through the motions, but I'm like, I don't know about this, man. What's the
I
end
do
game
not
here?
enjoy it by myself.
I spent the first 2 years when I didn't get it because it for me did the same thing. My kids just always died, so we spent our time in creative, right? And so I just literally spent the time playing by just doing just lattice work of TNTs and then lighting them on fire and blowing stuff up. Like that's all I did. I was like, that is because the worlds are randomly generated. I'd be like, I'm gonna fly to the top of this mountain. I'm gonna go all the way down. And so the one cheat I would recommend that turning on is coordinates. I don't know how anybody plays the game without coordinates enabled,
Yeah.
and it's a
Especially
cheat.
in Bedrock.
Yeah, especially on Bedrock. And so I would go up to the top of the mountain. I would drill straight down, come to the same coordinates where I was at, like my x-axis, the height, and then I'd just fill the whole tower with TNT, and then light it, and just watch that tower that mountain just blow to smithereens. So that was and it's oddly satisfying. Now my kids are into all the mods, and the marketplace for Minecraft is all sorts of mods, which basically make it like Minecraft Dungeons, but they have dragons they can ride, and it's just, I mean, it takes it away from the true nature of Minecraft. But
Yeah, there's like a Jurassic Park one I've been
Yeah.
eyeing. Like, maybe I'll do those because that seems like there might be an objective.
I found
Yep.
the books. They do have a buttload of books
There's
licensed by Mojang.
yeah, my son has a bunch of the hardcovers too. Like he
Yep.
actually reads them.
They're
And then
from they're published by Penguin Random.
Yeah. And so he just
Penguin
listens to
Random
those on Audible, and I'm telling you what, those I've actually sat and listened with them. They're actually really well done. Like,
Yeah, there's no
So
reason why it
he's-
can't be.
yeah, they're
You know?
it's so if you want so basically they leave the lore and the story kind of wide open, right?
Right.
Like
It's
Like-
like that guy that is it Alex Garland? I can't remember. Whoever is making the Elden Ring story or
Right.
movie, right?
right.
There's
right.
he can do whatever he wants as long as it's in the universe. It's an Elden
Right.
Rings
Yeah,
story,
exactly.
you know, Elden Ring movie. Because there's
Yeah.
no story.
My
to follow
son
from the
reads
game.
one and it's not licensed.
Oh, so he's reading fanfic.
It's not licensed, but there's like 60 books, so I've bought them all. But the guy actually like uses the game because there's screenshots in it from the game of his character doing different things, and so that's how he illustrates
Huh.
it, is with the
Oh.
screenshots from the game.
That's really smart.
Oh, that's smart. It's free artwork there.
Yeah.
Sort of free. Sort of free. I don't know.
Oh, $20 to buy Minecraft.
Right.
All right, let's talk about you got some Ubisoft EULA stuff here.
So
Let's go through that.
They're catching some heat because people have noticed now that they've kind of ninja changed their EULA to be, and Ubisoft is not doing great out there right now, right?
They're struggling.
Yeah. But they added the line into their EULA that they can cancel. They can cancel the service if you don't keep the terms. Your contract with them will be canceled basically. But also if you quit your subscription or whatever, you have to destroy all copies of the game and data. You can't keep anything, nothing. You own nothing. And at first I was like, oh, how dare they? And a bunch of people are like, yeah, how dare they? But then another guy on Reddit, where I was getting this story from, was like, actually, it's not that uncommon for people to ask that. And Ubisoft has its own reasons because they're getting ready maybe for a bankruptcy, and this is kind of an easy way to get out of having to make people uninstall, or so they can cancel their service because they're like, oh, you didn't read the EULA. Anyway, so this guy went and did another big list of games, and it's in the gaming. It's called Gaming. It's on Reddit subreddit there. And here's a list of all the other ones. Some of the other ones that have you must delete all copies of the data. Ubisoft, obviously, Larian. So Larian's one of them.
Larian?
Larian has it. So you can, if you terminate the agreement, then they have you do that, right? Like, so as long as you don't initiate the termination, you don't have to. But if you
terminate what though with Larian, they don't have any
The
subscription stuff.
end user license agreement, that's what the actual
okay.
agreement. If you say I don't agree with this stuff in your EULA,
Okay, I see.
then they say, well, then you have to do it. They don't do that. Square Enix for Final Fantasy looks like 14, Genshin Impact, Death Stranding, Bethesda, TES 4, Oblivion, Call of Duty, Activision, Elden Ring, Yakuza, yes,
Pretty
all the
common, it
Yakuza
sounds
games.
like.
Yeah, Persona, No Man's Sky, Star Wars Jedi, Warhammer. So at first I was like, "Ow, that's outrageous," but then they actually have a lot of games and developing that do it. So, but the news is that Ubisoft is doing it kind of on the down low, kind of
Right.
quietly changing their EULA. Whenever anybody quietly changes something, like Google, remember when they took out their
Don't
they're
be
not
evil.
gonna don't be evil stuff, you're kind of like,
Sounds like
So-
you want to be evil.
I appreciate
know?
that there's not a binding contract in there for me now.
Right.
If they don't have to not be evil, then neither do I. So
Goes both ways.
it's like both ways,
Google,
pal.
you listening?
I'm taking off the kid gloves. I'm going full evil, or as evil as I can be. I don't know what that is. I'm not fairly evil. Anyway, yeah. So Ubisoft, I don't know. I thought it was less common than it is, but if you terminate the agreement or if you violate their terms, they can have you not only kill your account, but they can require you legally to
Delete
uninstall
everything.
and delete everything.
Yeah. Well, there you go. All right. And last but not least, you have a story on here, Twyman, about Chuck E. Cheese. Twyman.
Yeah, I'm really surprised
Jarron
earlier
paused.
when.
I think there's a slight latency.
Quit cutting me off.
He is getting.
There is a
latency.
slight lay.
Yeah.
I know, it's getting bad. But I'm surprised earlier when you said, oh, we got the best story, and then you led off with Microsoft and not this Chuck E. Cheese game. So, this Chuck E. Cheese thing. So, Chuck E. Cheese is launching Chuck's Arcade, is what they call it.
Is this like
And
supposed
so
to be Dave
I
and
jumped
Buster's?
to the page and checked it out. I thought maybe, but no.
Oh.
So when I first started reading it, it says in there, it states this is created for adults.
Yeah.
So when I read that, I went, okay, this is going to be a 21 and older bar,
Yeah.
for adults. But later it goes on to say, just kidding, kids can come, anybody can come. And then it's all like, the animatronic characters are back. But
Oh,
really
no.
all they did was just take them and put them in a glass case. And they don't move. They're just defunct ones in a glass case that just stand there. So they just
Oh.
kind of repurpose those.
Lame.
So that was kind of lame. And it's only one per place. And
Oh, it's not
So,
even the whole
meh.
set. Yeah.
so in the end, no, it's just one. So in the end, let's see, they're basically lift and shifting into the shopping mall scene. There's only one that you can buy pizza at, so they're basically just removing the pizza. So really, I don't know what makes this difference than a Chuck E. Cheese besides that you can't get food and it's in the mall, but it looks just like, unfortunately, just a regular arcade.
So it sounds like it's a lot like there's a chain of arcades, and there's one in the Southtown Mall in Sandy called Round One, and I've been there a few times. It's pretty rad actually, and it sounds like that's a lot like what Round One is. So it's not a bad thing. I mean, Chuck E. Cheese's pizza
Yeah, it's not a bad thing. I mean, the mall's grown.
was never that good, you know.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Yeah, I mean, the malls around here have always had arcades, so I guess to me, I'm like, so what? But maybe if they're a chain and there's enough of them and you can transfer your card between them or something like that, maybe there's an appeal, but I don't know.
This is
It kind of just
another
seems like a
brand.
weird...
Yeah, this is just another brand using nostalgia. They're looking at these are for adults, right? These are the people that grew up with Chuck E. Cheese. They've got expendable income now, disposable income now, and they're just another
reach into your pocket.
Another nostalgia attack of using a nostalgia as a vector.
And
Yeah.
it's got a weird ad on the website. It's like telling you about the place and then has this big graphic and says, all the vibes, none of the drama. And it's like, what does that even mean? And then you
What's
read the
the
thing
drama?
underneath it and it says,
Drama's the
Yeah.
animatronics for sure.
yeah, if you ever raced to collect tickets, battled your cousins for the joystick, or remember the magical whiff of arcade high scores in the air, you'll feel right at home. I'm like, what drama then? What are you even
Yeah.
talking about?
What is what?
What drama are we talking about here?
All right, well, whatever.
Like the drama of the animatronics catching on fire, or what
yeah,
drama?
Yes.
exactly. So I have a really good Chuck E. Cheese drama story. For your birthday, they let you go in there and they have a wind tunnel, and for kids, not for adults. But you go in there and you then you press the button and wind blows all these fake dollar bills up, but they're worth money. And then you grab as many as you can, and then you get those tickets, and
Right.
you come out, and it's like worth stuff. Put my, I think he was turning 4. We put my 4-year-old in there. Let me say that video. He's 17 now, but that video is treasured material of him going, "Why are you closing me in this thing?" And then having the wind machine come up and having me laugh, and the video cuts out right when his face hits the plexiglass, going. So it hits the plexiglass of him going. Like, just let me out. It is one of my favorite videos of all time. I'm a horrible parent. These are my prototypes, right? So like
Right.
I laughed
still-
a lot.
You're still
Like,
experimenting.
yeah, like the only reason the video stopped is because my wife was like, "Go, what are you doing?" Like, I was like, recording this fool. Oh, it's my own kid.
Oh, that's mine.
Recording this stupid kid. Oh,
funny.
man.
I thought it was going to turn into like a skydiving simulator for a kid that small. All of a sudden, just starts flying.
Starts flying up. No, just a terrorizing moment where he caught nothing.
All for nothing.
You didn't even grab any of the dollars. He just like if you could hear it, the sound effect is as his face slid down the plexiglass. Just
Awesome.
Well,
All
I guess
right.
that's the drama they're talking about.
That
yeah.
must be
no,
it.
must be that. Must be that.
So cool. Well, I think that wraps it up for today. Thanks for making it to the end. We're gonna close out with a big shout out to our awesome Patreon backers. You still got the Patreon up, Owen?
I do. Unless
Nice.
there's been a new subscriber in the last hour, we're good.
Last hour. All right, Lando, tell us what Patreon is real quick.
Patreon's a digital tip jar. If you appreciate us, you like what you listen to, you can give us a tip. You know, sometimes you tip your barber, you tip your waiter or waitress at the restaurant for doing a good job. If you like what they do, you send them a tip, right? Same thing with Patreon. If you like what we do and you want to give a little bit back, to say, hey, thanks for being you and thanks for being awesome. Here's a little something, something. You give us a tip. And in return for that digital tip, we'll give you some rewards and benefits. The lowest tier of our tips is at $1. For one measly $1 a month, provides, in my opinion, the best value for our Patreon subs. You get access to the super secret Discord with all the other Patreon subs. So all the normies and all the plebs, they're in the general chat. You know, we don't care about them.
Hey,
The good
Wow.
conversation
I care.
happens in the super
a
secret
lot.
Discord. $1 to get access to that. And if you don't have access, you're missing out. FOMO is real, people. You also get access to both shows early, ad-free, with a bonus show called The In-Between, where we talk about all kinds of stuff. Sometimes it's spicy, sometimes it's butt stuff, sometimes it's poop stuff.
This week it was my belly button.
Sometimes it's belly button, sometimes we play games. You just never know what you're going to get in the in-between. It's kind of like the extra
It's
extra
not
show,
always
extra content.
weird. Okay.
It's not always weird. Sometimes it's hilariously just normal.
Yeah, sometimes we just chit-chat about restaurants or shows we've watched that week. Whatever. I feel like I'm missing something at $1. Seems like you get something else.
RSS
but-
feed, you got that?
Yeah, the
Got
special
the-
RSS
You
feed.
got
both
it
shows
all.
early.
You got it all.
Okay. Yeah.
Um,
You're missing out on the $6 one part though. Did you do that?
I'm getting the $6 part here in
Okay.
just a second. The $6 sub, so above and beyond, $6 a month, which still is not a ton, right? Give up a McDonald's for a month. In fact, it's less than McDonald's is nowadays.
That's true.
You get a special shout out in the air, which is great. If you do more than $6, you're an extra special tech daddy. Jarron makes sure to mention that. But you also get your name read out in the air, which is great because really it's an excuse to let Jarron say anything you want. Jarron's not here tonight, so it's going to be Owen. And Owen, Owen doesn't care. He's got no filters.
Yeah.
He'll say literally whatever.
I
Jarron
will.
has boundaries. So push those boundaries as far as you can. Of course, it's not hard to find the edges of those boundaries, as we have so found. Anyway, I've rambled forever now. Owen, read off Jarron's job.
Here we go. Making slap documentaries for Twyman. Aaron Faulkner. See you next Tuesday. Burninated Peasant. Tony the Excel and Power Apps Nerd. Fourth Dimension Craft on Instagram for all your laser engraving needs. Be the 8-year-old. 10 tiny techies tweak tangled transistor towers tirelessly. Tony Trips tossing 10 terabytes of tacos at the terminal. It takes way more than $6 to get Jarron to say the C word. Don't let Lando convince you otherwise. The in-between.
Owen will say it,
rating-
though.
I already said it multiple times. The in-between rating 250. DP, Eric Cruz. I'm here for content, not a nice tight pod. Stuart Lloyd. Jason Eatman. Not Twyman, seriously. Keslow, Oliver Klozoff. I get it. Close
Did
off.
you get it this time?
Good
Okay.
one. Yeah, Oliver close off. That's really good. Connor Keesaw, Kyle, I'm just here for Owen's stories. I really thank you. Bring back Twyman because one dose isn't enough. Jerry ga arimasu. If you want to mess with your coworkers, just rearrange their keycaps. Tenet is Nolan's most Nolaniest Nolan movie that ever Nolaned. Kurskengar 94, Interrupting Cow, Twyman sounds so nice, gotta say it twice. Eric Steinman and Wesley. Thank you.
Oh. All right. Yep. Thank you so much. Patreon backers, you are very awesome. Twyman, thanks for joining us this week. We appreciate you. Pause.
Yeah, it turns out you got to fill in for Jarron. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. There's
All
the
right.
delay, so
Okay.
carry on.
We're out of here. We'll see you next week. And Owen, take us out.
Hey, we hope you care.